I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way. You know, welcome to the most expensive congressional primary ever in the 250-year history of this country.
Bro.
It's not just the most expensive.
Like literally, and here's the thing, and this was killed me too, because like I said, it just shows that MAGA has sold out. They put $38 million into this, guys. 38 million altogether was put to beat this man, Thomas Massie. Why? Because he had such a strong base. And as you've seen, they had to put a whole lot of money in this fake campaign of trying to lie on this man's name, saying that, oh, he didn't vote for ICE. Oh, he voted to raise your taxes, when no. Actually, Thomas Massie was the only guy who was standing up for what MAGA actually believed in when it came to the big, beautiful bill, while all the other Republicans was selling us out. Like, Thomas Massie truly exposed which Republican is truly a rhino and which Republican is actually MAGA. And it's sad to say that MAGA is now going with the rhinos. And they're a bunch of sellouts because they allowed pretty much a seat to be bought for $38 million from what? Muriel Edison, AIPAC, like all the guys that we're telling y'all about that you're saying, oh, we're anti-Semitic for even bringing up. But here they are buying an election right in front of your face. And you're cheering on with pom-poms in your hands. This is crazy.
This thing went on longer than Vietnam. It started 9 months ago, and they didn't even have a candidate, and they decided they want to take me out. I want to start by thanking the volunteers who have put so much effort into this. Some of you came from all across the country. Some of you are homegrown. I love all of you.
Double tap that screen and like the video, guys.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, like I said, about 17 of y'all in here. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new.
All right. I see how this is going to work. I'm going to have to not quit talking or you'll start doing it. I want to thank my staff too. Some of my staff have been with me from the very first race in 2012, and they have done so much. We've never had, contrary to all the BS you've heard, we've never had a single ethics complaint filed against me or my staff in 14 years. I want to thank the donors. Now listen, I'd name them all, but there's 50,000 donors, okay? We didn't lose this race because we didn't have enough money. You know, it is the most expensive race ever. I think when they add it up, right now they can count 35 million. I think when they add it up, it's going to be a lot more than that, because on our side, we know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm reading reports where they put like, bro, I mean, they put so much money into it, it's almost egregious. It's like, all right, yeah, y'all obviously wanted this man out. But the fact that you spend like $30 million doing so, and we're just supposed to think that, oh, this guy must be the best guy for the region. No, this guy's who you guys wanted to be in power. This isn't the candidate that beat Thomas Massie, not for the people. He's for the donors, because look at where all the donors put their money. And MAGA ate it up hook, line, and sinker, aka MAGA are selling out to the donors. And this whole election with Thomas Massie proved it. That was your one time to prove that y'all still had some values y'all was willing to stand on, and y'all sold out. One time, sold out. Can't believe it. Well, I can. I mean, y'all been selling out since this war, but it is what it is.
We spent more than 15 million. And we were able to go toe to toe. There was never a week that we got outspent more than 2-1 in this entire race once it got underway. And that's also, it wasn't just the grassroots donors. We had a long time, one of my longest friends, he went through a rough spell, and I never left him. I always supported him. And he actually started the super PAC, the one that nobody knows who runs it, Cliff Maloney. If you're around, would you come up here? Maybe I can get him out here to take some credit. Or if he's in the crowd, just pick him up and surf him over here. Cliff. I see, by the way, I see one of my online influencer heroes, Bobby Sauce, over here.
All right, now let's get into some news coverage on the topic here. Then I'm going to show you some posts from X so we can see where the public's opinion is.
News alert, Thomas Massie trailing Ed Galrine, the Kentucky House primary by 8%. But now we're just getting a call in. Ed Galrine has defeated incumbent Thomas Massie after Donald Trump endorsed Galrine and a huge amount of money spent on this race. We're going to go right to Doug Schoen. Doug, I think we all knew this was coming. When Donald Trump gets involved in one of these races.
Yeah, when Donald Trump gets involved and donors start pouring millions of dollars in, yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. It's not a good look. It's not the look they're going for. They're like, oh, this makes Donald Trump look strong. No, this makes Donald Trump look corrupt.
And how rare is it for a Trump foe to win?
It's very rare. And Laura, this sends a message to the entire Republican Party and indeed the entire country, as I was saying before, that the power of the Trump brand to motivate voters, in this instance, 12-year incumbent beaten by a newcomer because of the Trump endorsement. And I think my party would make a very big mistake.
I wouldn't say because of the Trump endorsement. I would say because of that and the $38 million that was pushed in. I mean, not the Trump endorsement isn't everything. Like, there's plenty of candidates who receive a Trump endorsement and lost. But here's the problem, though, is that when you put $38 million into, the fake propaganda, you're paying influencers to lie about Thomas Massie, AI made videos and bashing his wife and all this good stuff. I mean, and this man, Thomas Massie probably came with like $2 to $5 million. This guy had 38 million put behind him. That should tell you a lot. Like I said, MAGA done sold out because they literally think that this is okay.
Underestimating the power of the Trump brand and the fact that, as you say correctly, he has not lost a primary yet. He wins Louisiana. He wins the Kentucky Senate primary, and now this key House race. So I don't think this can be overestimated, Laura.
Yeah, and
But let's see what our guy Rohana got to say. One of Thomas Massie's homies on the left. All right. Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, but make sure we're double tapping that screen. Let's beat the shadow ban by showing we got engagement by upping those likes.
My good friend Thomas Massie lost tonight. I'm angered by the smears on his character. He lost because he had the guts to take on the Epstein class. He lost because he had the guts.
Now, that is crazy, bro. Thomas Massie received the most heat for being the most America First candidate. I mean, or not candidate, being the most America First politician. That's why they wanted him out. He was too America First. When they wanted to push the big, beautiful bill, he said, yo, well, hold on. No restriction on AI for 10 years. That got to go. He's always been the one to turn down these Republican bills that have pork in it because they don't serve the American people. And a lot of reason we get these pork out of these bills is because of Thomas Massie. I mean, if it wasn't for Thomas Massie, guys, we'd have been cooked because there'd been no regulation on AI for 10 years and been able to do whatever the fuck they wanted. And Thomas Massie saved us from that. And y'all don't even know.
To stand up against the war in Iran. He worked with me to pass the most consequential and popular piece of bipartisan legislation in recent history in the Epstein Transparency Act. Many young voters under 50 voted for him. He was winning them by over 30 points.
Facts.
And today I say you may not have a home in the Trump coalition, but there is a new generation of populist Democrats, and we welcome you to help us change this country, change the rotten system, and have a politics that puts the working class ahead of the Epstein class. My good.
And here's the thing. I did also catch some notes here. Let me go ahead and pull it up here if I can find the post right here. This is what actually came out. So let me go ahead and zoom up on it. So voters 65 and over were the only age demographic in Kentucky's 4th congressional district primary to vote favor Ed Gallerin over Thomas Massie. But their support ultimately swung the race for Gallerin. So pretty much, once again, these boomers overvoting us, pretty much killing our voice in politics, even though we're the future and not them. But once again, they hold on to power and just destroy our voice in the process. So yeah, do you see? 18 to 29. We get that Thomas. I'm 30 to 40 now, but 18 to 29. They get that Thomas Massie's America first. They get that Thomas Massie is voting when he vote no against Trump's bills, it's to take out the pork and not what actually helps American people. It's the 65 plus crowd that are low-key the most gullible. And I'm gonna be real, it's the 45 to 65 crowd are the most gullible. They buy all the AI videos, they buy all the lies told about Thomas Massie, they buy all the propaganda. It's because they're low-key the older generation. They can't see through the AI slop or the narrative. I mean, bro, they're the same people who believe that, oh, the JCPOA gave money to Iran from the American people. Like, they're the same people who believe that. Okay, guys? Like, they're the same people that still believe that Ilhan Omar married her husband, and there's definitive proof of it. Those people. Those people who go off no facts and all propaganda are the ones that are actually fooled by this. 8 through 44, they still got some common sense here on what's going on. They still know what America needs. These guys are just propagandized at this point. That's just the sad reality. I know some of y'all in that age group don't want to hear it, or some of y'all in that age group are like, I ain't gonna lie, Set, you cooking, you cooking. And like, it is true. Because I know there are some of you who understand what I'm saying, but a lot of y'all are really just selling this country out, bro. You're really just selling us out. And it is what it is. But let's get back to it.
Look, I think we heard from Massie it was a lot about Israel, and this is Israel's race. It's not America. Well, the voters of Kentucky did not agree with that. I mean, it's their district. It's the fourth district. It's their vote. It's their view. They did not buy what Tom Massie was saying. It looks like with these results on the Israel, component of this, even on the war, I
don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Like I said, when it's mostly the boomers who voted him in, yeah, you guys are completely ignoring the voice of the youth. And that's why the Republican Party is no longer a place for the young conservative now. Yes, the current Republican Party is no longer a place for the young conservatives. We just got to leave it to the boomers who continuously walk our country off a fucking cliff.
And if they want this war wrapped up, they are giving the benefit of the doubt to Donald Trump over Thomas Massie, the Epstein file, all of that. Trump wins. Bill Hemmer is going to, hold on one second, hold that thought. Bill Hemmer is going to join us now. This is the Trump effect, is it not? Bill Hemmer, wake up, America.
It sure is. Laura, what I would say is that the tail end of that report a moment ago, think about Bill Cassidy, a senator in Louisiana, right? He's in a primary race in that state against 2 other candidates. And the president does not endorse Cassidy. He goes for the other candidate, and she wins. Bill Cassidy loses in the primary. That was just Saturday. Yeah. Now you got this unknown Ed.
I know, what was it? It was his Indiana sweep, man, bro. Every candidate that Trump endorsed won and replaced the candidate that was voting to impeach Trump. So yeah, I kind of get that. But Massie, the only reason it's not just Trump who's against Massie, it's the entire Israel lobby that's against Massie. And the worst part about it is why we wanted Massie to win so much is because we wanted to sit there and believe that these donors couldn't buy whatever the fuck they want. But what we've seen is that the donors can buy whoever the hell they want. The boomers are going to support it. MAGA's going to dick ride it blindly, not even knowing that the reason why the big, beautiful bill even worked out and didn't just doom us to AI slavery is because of this man, Thomas Massie. The only person that ever really stands up for any America First policies is Thomas Massie. But for some reason, you guys wanted him out for some guy, a nobody. You sold out somebody who's been doing good work for 12 years for a fucking nobody. And these are the boomers, like I said, as they sell our country off a fucking cliff.
Galrein, who comes out of Kentucky against Thomas Massie, who's been in the public light now for 7 terms, 14 years. Now, he is not.
But let's get to somebody who actually agrees with this bullshit. Which,
My bill, which is...
Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene's candidate lost.
And Thomas Massie voted yes for my bill, which is in support of President Trump's executive order and in support of stopping gender-affirming care. So the more...
Yeah, and I mean, that's one reason why Massey voted no, because they still try to keep the gender affirming care in there. Just like they try to do no AI regulations. I mean, they try to do some other bullshit. But here's the thing. All Thomas Massie did was vote against pork. And it's kind of crazy how the Republican Party tried to frame it as, oh, no, he voted no on the entire bill in general. And I'm sorry, but you got to be, honestly, you guys should know how bills work already. And especially the concept of what pork means in a bill. They were doing it all through Biden administration. MAGA was privy to it. Now all of a sudden they're acting like they don't know what pork is.
You know.
Massie voted against tax cuts, the wall, mass deportations, ICE, essentially the majority of President Trump's agenda.
Get out and vote for Thomas Massie.
I'm sorry, Marjorie, it looks like your endorsement didn't work out too well because Massie's fired. So while I know you're moving to Costa Rica in your new mansion or whatever you're doing.
And I would ask a guy like this, is like, so you think it's a flex that a bunch of donors, a bunch of billionaires, the class that make sure we don't get what we want, literally just bought out a seat for $38 million, all because Donald Trump put his thumb behind it? And then I would really ask him, like, bro, do you even know what Thomas Massie's actually done? I'm pretty sure if I asked this guy that, he'd sit there and be like, oh, well, he voted no against Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. No, he voted no against the 10-year AI regulation of not having regulations. That's what he voted against. He didn't vote no against the entire bill. But that's the problem, though. He votes no against this pork, and he gets framed as if it's voting against the entire bill. And people like him believe that propaganda. That's why it's low-key, it low-key heats me up, because it's MAGA who's buying this complete propaganda. You know what? He looks like he's about that 44 to 60. Well, no, I doubt he's 65, but a little gray hair on him. Yeah, he looks he's about that 44 age that voted in the new guy. And like I said, our voice, the 18 to 40, well, not 18, yeah, the 18 to 44. I ain't gonna lie. Those guys got pretty much overshadowed. Our voice no longer matters in the conservative movement. And I'm gonna stay saying this. The young conservative voice do not matter in the MAGA movement. It is now all about the boomers. They used us to get voted in, and now they're tossing us to the side now that they can get what they want.
And you've got going on sweet red burn tan there, sunscreen.
Hey, and shout out to my man User coming in, sent the star and sent the sparkle. Appreciate the support, my friend.
You're a sellout. You literally waited to resign from Congress until you got a massive, massive pension, and then you took off to an island out of the United States.
I'm weak. Out of the United. She didn't take off to an island out of the United States. She just went back to being a rich construction owner. Which, I'm be real with you, I do think she low-key kind of wussed out. I honestly wish she'd actually stood and fight instead of just dropped out. Like, I agree with him on that. She did take the, for lack of better words, the pussy route.
Out. And then earlier today, the president endorses Ken Paxton in Texas. Why is that important? Because Texas got the same 50% threshold, so they got to have a runoff on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Now, Paxton against John Cornyn, some of the polling suggested that Cornyn had a slight lead there. And you think today, after that endorsement by the president, that whole race could change as well. So in a period of 10 days, you've got the president weighing in on 3 significant primary races. In all likelihood, he has a chance now to go 3 for 3.
All right. I mean, he might just do it too. Like I said, wherever Trump's endorsement goes, millions of dollars go with it. And if that's what you guys voted for, a donor-controlled, government, then, I mean, you got it, MAGA. You're getting it. And it's right in front of you. And don't deny it. Don't act like it ain't happening. Because, look, when Lindsey Graham is still in power, I bet you guys would cheer then, too. Randy Fine is still in power. You guys would cheer then, too. So, really, you guys literally just sold out. That's all I can really say. But, all right, let's see what there are people over here at Breaking Point got to say about it.
So Republican Congressman Thomas Massie facing a fierce and extremely well-funded.
Oh, guys, and if you ain't liked the video already, make sure you double tap that screen and like the video. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Appreciate the support. But let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
like literally this is now the most expensive congressional race in history. Opponent in his primary tomorrow. He went on the Sunday shows yesterday to talk about the dynamics and the importance of his race. Let's take a listen.
We're facing a primary on Tuesday. In the wake of Senator Bill Cassidy's loss in the primaries yesterday in Louisiana, the president has been up posting on Truth Social throughout the night and into the morning about you. Just a few minutes ago, he posted this. I want to show our viewers right now. Bad Congressman Tom Massie voted against tax cuts, the border wall, our military enforcement. Actually, he voted against almost everything that is good. The worst congressman in history.
Lies, straight lies. He said, bro, I voted against the tax cuts, the border wall, our military and law enforcement. No, he didn't. He voted against the pork that didn't serve Americans whatsoever. He voted against the AI, pretty much zero restriction. He voted against the continuous funding of transgender surgeries. Like, bro, everything that you were supposed to stand on, Trump, Thomas Massie stood on. And because he voted no on that and he was holding up the big, beautiful bill, you wanted to act like he was voting no against everything. And remember, even when we heard Thomas Massie's arguments, even when there are some points I disagreed with him on it, I was like, you know, it's not that he disagrees with what Trump is doing. He just felt like Trump wasn't going hard enough. And I had to low-key respect that. He's like, no, we need more cuts. Trump need to go harder on this. And I'm like, God damn, bro, sounded more America first than Trump. So I was low-key a little bit upset. I was like, the man who was sounding way more America first than Trump, truly like represented what MAGA was supposed to stand for, gets voted out. Yep, MAGA ought to sold out.
Bad Congressman Tom Massie voted against tax cuts, the border wall, our military enforcement. Actually, he voted against almost everything that is good. The worst congressman in history. Kentucky, vote the bum out on Tuesday. We can't live with this troublemaker for another 2 years. He's a true negative force. Your response?
Well, I think that's going to help my fundraising at thomasmassie.com. Every time he tweets about me, it's good for, you know, some money coming in because people don't like that. And, you know, how did this race become the most expensive race in the history of Congress for a primary? It's because 3 billionaires from outside of Kentucky have funneled millions of dollars in here. They're trying to buy a seat. And that's what I'm saying. It's almost like, yo, the guys who voted against Thomas Massie, I just want to let you guys know, you sold out for dollars that wasn't even coming from inside your own state. That's how sad this is. You sold out your American people for donor money because you just wanted to stick with Trump because Massie bad, even though Massie was standing up for everything you voted for. Okay, bro. Like I said, man, it just shows a lot. And you know what's so crazy? Like I said, I can't even sit there and blame the voters of Kentucky. I gotta sit there and I gotta be real specific with my blame here. We gotta sit here and blame the guys who are what 44. My bad, not 44, but 45 to 65 plus. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. We gotta blame those guys because those are the ones who voted in this guy because they're the ones who believe all the propaganda. Those guys who believe Trump no matter what he says. I mean, they can say, bro, Trump can say 2 + 2 = 5 and they'll believe it. I'm sorry. They're just that far gone. It's not just the president's tweets. I could sustain those without a problem. It's because Miriam Adelson and Paul Singer have dumped money in here. Yo, shout out to my man Noah Joyner. He says, but said, if Trump said Massie bad, it must be true. I know, right? Like, hold on. And this man literally supported Trump and everything. And like I said, nobody's understanding how the pro-American guys, the America First guys are getting pushed out and how the pro-Israel guys are pretty much getting let in. And I think Thomas Massie should be the biggest eye-opener to a lot of young conservatives. Because trust me, guys, if you're expecting the old heads to see this, no, they're going along with it. At this point, like I'm going to keep saying this to you guys, MAGA is no longer a place for the young conservatives. They don't want to hear us. They've used us, and they're just tossing us to the side to get their own bullshit, fear-ridden agenda across. In fact, Miriam Adelson has given so much money to my opponent that instead of paying for the ballroom, they're going to need taxpayer money for the ballroom now.
That was a good line. Well, I mean, he's completely correct. Let's put C2B up on the screen because I think this lays on a very important dynamic. So if you look at the 3 most expensive congressional races in history, with Thomas Massie's now being the most expensive congressional race in history, or House race, I should say, in history, all 3 of them have something in common. all three of them, the incumbent ran afoul of the Israel lobby, and you had millions spent against them successfully in the case of Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush in order to defeat them. So this person lays it out in case people are not fully grasping the absurdity of this. The typical House primary spends $100K to $500K total, candidates and outside groups for the entire race. Many safe district incumbents spend almost nothing in the primary.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, bro, even Thomas Massie said, like, dog, I'd have had to open up the war chest, but it's like, usually he even said it. Usually I spend like maybe like 200, 500K. He's like, dude, I'm spending about $2 million to $5 million. I was like, damn. And I'm like, why? And they asked him, why so much just for this race when it's usually only 500K? He's like, they put 30 million behind this guy. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, shit. Like, really think about that. Like, bro, you're coming into this battle with only 500K, and bro, the other side came in with 30 million. It's like, what? And nobody sees this like wrong whatsoever. Nobody sees anything wrong with this. Nobody sees this as literally a bought politician. I'm sorry, but I think the biggest red flag for you not to vote for a politician when billions of dollars, my bad, not billions, but millions of dollars show up behind them. That should be like the biggest red flag not to vote for a politician. When just all of a sudden they pop up, no name, no nothing, but just millions of dollars pop up behind them. Shouldn't that have been just a tiny bit suspicious? Just a little bit.
Which would normally be the case for Thomas Massie. This one, $35 million plus in total spending. By far the most expensive U.S. House primary in history. Prior record was $25.4 million. That was Jamal Bowman versus, I think, George Latimer in a Democratic primary. Before that, 17.9 to 19.4 million roughly for Missouri's first congressional district. That was Cori Bush versus Bell. There's a rematch of that going on right now. Look into these three races and see where that money came from and why this is a coordinated effort. It was successful twice already. We will see if it's successful for a third time. So it is not an accident who these candidates were. These were all people who didn't fully 100% toe the line on Israel. And so millions were spent against them to defeat them. Now, in the case of Thomas Massie, it's not just Israel, it's also him working with Ro Khanna to help release the Epstein files. That really drew the ire of Trump. So Trump gets involved, starts attacking him relentlessly online. They recruit this opponent for Thomas Massie, and then all of this money flows in to support this guy.
Bro, literally, the man just came out the sky with, I got millions of dollars and an AIPAC endorsement. Oh, and I'm a Marine, so vote for me, even though I have no real experience and I'm just here to take Thomas Massie's spot. It's like, y'all fell for that? That's crazy. I'm sorry. It's just so crazy.
Now, Thomas Massie, this is pretty interesting reporting from Ken Klippenstein. We could put C7 up on the screen. His opponent is this guy, Ed Galrine, and his whole thing is that he was in SEAL Team 6. But when he talks about his background, basically what he'll tell voters is like, oh, it's all classified, but the president knows what I did and the president's behind me. So you should just trust him that I have the experience and that I would be a good.
Yo, that is crazy. Politician whose background is secret challenges one who released Epstein files. Like, what? Hold on. Politician whose background is secret challenges one who released Epstein file. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what's so crazy? How did they didn't have a debate, guys? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, say, what do you mean they didn't have a debate? So you really tell me that they voted for a guy that they didn't even hear his positions? No, yeah, that's how brainwashed MAG is. Yeah, Thomas Massie invited him to a debate and he didn't even show up. Like, guys, that's how sure this man was going to win. That's how sure he was that they were going to buy this election for him. He didn't even have to debate his position. These guys are so brainwashed. They voted for a guy who didn't even explain his position on anything at all. They didn't even show up to the debate. Like, I mean, I'm almost speechless because I can't believe the American people are that brainwashed to vote for somebody like that. Like, he didn't show up to the debate. You don't even know his real positions. His ideas have not been challenged in any way, shape, or form, but you're just going along because Trump said so. I mean, and that's not a cult? Like, that's some cult-ass behavior.
a good representative for you. It says, I went through all of Ed Galrin's interviews and this guy's laughably deep state. He literally says his background is classified, cites anonymous endorsements from unnamed national security officials and more. The headline on his piece is Iran War versus Epstein Files. Politician whose background is secret challenges one who released Epstein files. So those are the dynamics of the race. Sagar, the polling is very close. I saw one poll that had it literally 50-50.
Yep.
Huge generational divide.
It is a battle of the generations, which is honestly, I'm not that
huge generational divide. I believe I showed it to you, and I'm gonna keep showing this to you guys. Because shout out to this little polling right here, Republican primary for Kentucky's 4th congressional district. Let's see if the Republican primary for the U.S. House of Representatives was held today. For whom would you vote for? If undecided, then if you had to decide today for which party candidate you would vote for. Now, guys, look, they broke it up. And as you see, yeah, it's mainly the young people. Mainly the young people that are voting for Thomas Massie because he represents MAGA. He represents America First. 30 through 40. This is my age group. We understand, and maybe at a lesser degree, but we understand that, Massie's the right guy for the job. But as you go down, these are the more brainwashed individuals who just agree with whoever Trump stamped. They literally voted for a guy who didn't show up for debate and who had no ideas challenged. They voted for a guy who showed up with a secret background and $35 million behind him, like with no political history. And they did and you remember how the Republicans were bitching about that with Obama, but in here they come doing the same exact thing. Like, bro, they did this. They had the same criticism of AOC and all them, but here they come doing the same thing. I mean, absolutely insane. But all right, though, let's get back to it.
I want Thomas Massie to win. I would, it would be something that I think would be, I think it would finally show some level of independence within the MAGA base, within some, beloved nature of these shitsters and these independents. But there's just not a lot of data to back any of that up.
Yeah.
It would take the first time ever for a MAGA base, and remember, when we talk about Trump's diminishing approval, MAGA is still behind him 100%. It's just that MAGA makes up a smaller slice of the country than ever before. But people who are, quote, MAGA, and especially, you got to think, who are the type of people who show up to go vote in a Republican primary? These are the diehards. They always have been. Those people, I mean, they're mainline in Fox News all day long. And this is part of the problem, is in that generational divide, Massie leads with every group below age 45? It's like a blowout.
I think it's even older than that.
So then it starts to get mixed around that like 50-50 nature when you get like 45 to 65. But then when it's 65 and above, it's a blowout for Ed Galrin. So, I mean, it would have to be a Zoran Mamdani-like primary.
And here's
just change the electorate.
And here's the problem too, is first of all, most young people are not Republicans, even in Kentucky. Second of all, it's a closed primary.
Well, we're not hardcore Republicans. We're kind of we're moderate Republicans. Like even me, I'm center right. I have a lot of conservative values, but I just can't be far right because their geopolitics. Well, yeah, their geopolitics is just fucked up. Like just gonna keep it real. But yeah, a lot of younger guys were not as conservative as our older counterparts. That's just us being real. And it's mainly because, not like we don't believe in mainly the same American values, it's mainly because of how we feel about actions in the Middle East. That what makes us a little bit more center leaning.
In Kentucky, I just looked it up to double check, which means you have to choose to vote on the Republican line. You have to be part of the Republican Party. And so, that cuts off. If you could imagine, even in a district, this is an overwhelmingly Republican district. I think I looked it up. Trump won by like 30 points or something like that. Even in that district, though, you're going to have some chunk of Democrats. You could imagine them voting for Thomas Massie.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and see what our guy Alex Jones got to say. Now, I ain't gonna lie though, bro. The one time Dems would have been clutch if they all came out just to vote for Thomas Massie just to say F Trump. That'd have been the one time the TDS would have been like, all right, you know what? I know y'all did it out for TDS, but good looks though. But good looks. But Lord knows they ain't doing that. They're gonna let MAGA crash out. And everybody's going to watch it, and people are going to look at them and be more embarrassed to be a part of it and look away and be like, yeah, look what these guys are doing. Oh, they sold out for the millionaires. Oh my God, it's not even America First anymore. It's MEGA now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh Lord, now they're slurping each other off. Oh Lord, now I gotta go. But all right, though, let's get into Alex Jones.
Well, I predicted today on air at 11 a.m. that Massie would probably lose. And it didn't matter if the scientific polls basically showed he was a few points ahead. When I saw Hegseth there yesterday and how confident he was, and the Pentagon openly campaigning against an American citizen in an office, campaigning against the power of the purse, against Congress, unprecedented in U.S. history in 250 years. And I saw the confidence of Hegseth on stage with Massie's Israel-funded opponent. So it doesn't matter. Given a lot of polls, he's 10 points ahead. It doesn't matter he's 20 points ahead in Bali market. Doesn't matter. I could see the confidence the fix was in. They had a lot of ways to get that done. I don't believe that Massie's opponent actually won the election.
Hey, shout out to my man Kingin for sending in the flow state. Appreciate the support, my man.
But here's the bottom line. Massie won the hearts and minds, and the illusion that Russia's involved in our elections with almost no pull is gone. Who's really involved in our elections is big corporate interest in Israel.
Yep.
And to a great extent, the EU and the UK are heavily involved in our elections as well, not just singling out Israel. But Israel's always been, in the last 50 years, one of the top lobbies. That's not a secret. But AIPAC now brags that they're the most powerful lobby. The Israeli newspapers brag that they control the U.S. and they're now a superpower because of it. And I saw Ben Shapiro today say, oh, it's anti-Semitic. Israel's not involved in this election. Trump's just mad at Massie for voting against him on some bills. Yeah, bringing forward 6 months ago today, the Jeffrey Epstein Transparency Act, the Epstein files. And that's really what got Trump pissed. And behind the scenes, to Boebert, that's come out, and to MTG and others saying, "Will embarrass my friends." I never saw any evidence of Trump being involved with Epstein, but he said, my friends. Howard Lutnick lived next door, lied about going to the island, all of it. And so I hate the Democrats. They're totally corrupt. I'll keep exposing them. But the Trump we have now compared to the Trump we had in the first term is night and day. The left always said Trump was a huge liar, and I knew every major issue, and he wasn't. He was extremely accurate, extremely competent, extremely honest. This new Trump and the insider trading by him and his whole camp followers is just unprecedented. He says he'll give the whole White House, every employee from the janitor to the chef up to the cabinet members, a blanket pardon like Biden did. And so Trump is basically making the Democrats and all their corruption look okay because he's basically rivaling it all, and it is disgusting. So the left's all, oh, Jones is turning against Trump. See, he admits he was wrong for 10 years. No, I wasn't wrong. He was night and day compared to you guys. But now he's basically becoming you. And I told Trump 80-something days ago, I said on air, I said, they'll close the Strait of Hormuz. The mills won't fall. It'll destroy your recovery. I was right. Pentagon told him don't do it. He listened to Israel, listened to Netanyahu.
I mean, that was obvious.
And so Trump can go get Israel, give $20+ million just from Israel alone, another $10 million from other Israeli donors. So it's over $30 million. Most expensive congressional.
I mean, that was the crazy part that nobody was trying to listen to me about either. I'm like, if he goes into war with Iran, all this economic progress he made is literally going to go in reverse. Bro, they said, you're tripping. You don't know what you're talking about. Come on, man. You're sounding like a liberal. Then when everything I said literally happens before my eyes and their eyes as well, now it's just I have TDS and I'm a liberal. Not even recognizing that I was right, but TDS and liberal. It's kind of funny, though. I was kind of poking fun at some of my friends who, when we were talking about the Iran war before it popped off, they were going like, man, you don't believe in America enough, man. We about to go in there. We about to run that shit just like Venezuela. And my friends are black, so you understand why I'm sounding like this. But yeah, I'm like, you don't even know, man. We big dog America. We about to run through helicopters, jet, drop a bomb right off into the sunset, just like we did last time. That's how they were talking. Did that happen, guys? No. And you know how they sound right now? A bit Saudi. They're asking me now, like, say, I ain't gonna lie, what the hell's going on? I thought we had it. I'm like, bruh, you tell me the way y'all was talking, I thought we had it. But apparently we don't got it like that. And Iran is pretty much showing us that we're not Venezuela.
Primary ever. And they can have this victory, but it's a Pyrrhic victory because the illusion has fallen. People see what's going on, and they just spawned 1,000 political candidates from governor to state rep to Congress, to the Senate of Thomas Massie. And I predict Massie will end up being the governor of Kentucky. I predict he'll end up being a senator from Kentucky. I predict in the end, this is all going to massively backfire on them. So this was a referendum on can a foreign government, a foreign power control our domestic policy. And we see now that really this is foreign interference out in the open. It's absolutely outrageous. And it's disgusting. And everybody knows me. I've been on there 32 years. I don't have some hard on for Israel. I don't think Israel, is the only thing corrupt in the world. I don't think Israel itself is overall bad. But Netanyahu and his crew that have been convicted, their backs are going to.
Man, look, man, the pro-Israel lobby, man, they support whoever goes against Trump, and they do it with millions of dollars, bro. Even the pro-Israel lobby's gotten people up out of here for like way less just for not supporting Israel. So we do got to understand that, yeah, we do have high foreign influence in our government, sadly. But all right, let's see what else Alex Jones got to say. This came out about 25 minutes ago.
Bottom line, we know there's massive election fraud baked in, and both parties engage in it.
All right.
And if you look at all the poll numbers and with the grassroots information we were getting, Massie should have won this election. But he's conceded. He's taken the high road.
3-1.
But is it really the high road?
Okay.
Because we have a foreign power, Israel, that openly put over $20 million against Massie. That's what this is really all about. But here's the good news and the bad news. Trump's been pissed at Massie getting the Epstein list out, embarrassing his friends, the cannibalism, the child rape, the murder. It's just insane. And so this was baked in the last 9 months since he started bringing out the Epstein list, this major targeting. And they had Hegseth campaign against Massie, unprecedented Secretary of Defense, saying he's not for the war. We want him out of there in the last 2 days. And then you've got the Israel lobby saying we want to get rid of him. But now come out and say, oh, we weren't involved. It's a conspiracy theory. We're not a foreign power that's involved. It doesn't matter. We're 83 days into the Iran war. Strait of Hormuz is closed. Inflation's exploded. Gas prices are 56%. Trump got lied to by Netanyahu. So he's trying to go after Massie and defeat any Republican that's loyal to America, to punish other Republicans and scare them from ever going against Israel First Agenda. It doesn't matter.
Anybody else? Like, pretty much what MAGA is telling us is that, hey, any of y'all who want to talk that America First bullshit is about to lose their seat. Guaranteed. Any of y'all who want to speak out against Israel, want to bring up Epstein, you're about to lose your seat. So any of you guys who truly care about what Americans want, or you would dare want to do something for Americans and not the Epstein class, the donor class, you're going to lose your seat. That's what this election showed us. And guess what? It's the boomers, it's the older generation that's going to walk us right into it.
Because Israel's war they drug us into by launching an attack first on February 28th. We launched an attack a few hours later on March 1st in the middle of the night. It's already blown up their face. So it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Trump is fighting an old war against people that told him the truth about this war. So it's totally mindless. So Israel's had its big victory in the battle, but not in the war. And when I say Israel, I mean Netanyahu and that crew that's been convicted and they're 15% approval rating in Israel. And that's what makes Israel so dangerous, is it's run by people whose backs are against the wall. So very dangerous precedent.
No, guys, you ain't liked the video already, man. Help me get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen and liking the video, guys. Still going through a shadow ban, but you can help me beat the shadow ban by double tapping that screen. And if you can as well, follow me on Kick or Rumble, guys. Appreciate the support, but I am trying to turn either Kick or, well, really Kick into the home base instead of YouTube, since they love playing with people's engagement.
Foreign government openly interfering in our elections. And Ben Shapiro and them are trying to spin that right now and say they're not involved. We all know the truth. You guys have already bragged. But the truth is Trump's destroyed his legacy. Trump has tied his wagon or hitched his wagon to Israel. It's a disaster. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad. We got the Democrats completely out of control as well. So we are surrounded on all sides by corruption and insider trading and just really the fall of this country. It's so sad, but it's a great awakening. And so the backlash against this, they just created tens of thousands of new Thomas Massies run for office.
Swear to God.
And Israel knows that, but they just don't care. They keep doubling down to control our foreign policy by controlling our domestic policy. And that is so frightening. That if the Russians were doing this, the Chinese, or anybody else, we wouldn't put up with it. But with Israel, it's going to be called anti-Semitic. They have that get-out-of-jail-free card, do whatever they want. So this is a victory for the Epstein class. They've won a major battle. They were going to lose the war. And Trump forever now is the Epstein protector with Howard Lutton and the rest of them. That's his life.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what he's kind of running away.